Hello everybody. Today we will introduce culinary tourism. We will be divided into 4 parts to introduce culinary tourism. I am Pan Feiyao. I will introduce the first part, culinary tourism's inter. First of all, let us think what is culinary tourism. Culinary tourism is not just simply travel beyond your immediate neighborhood to find great food. As mentioned by the OCTA, culinary tourism introduces any tourism experience in which a person learns about, appreciates, consumes, or dare we say, indulge in food and drink that reflects the local cuisine, heritage, or culture of the place. The further you travel, the wider the range of culinary experience enjoyed. It is not about the food you eat. Culinary tourism is not necessarily about dining luxuriously, but more about eating adventurously to seek out new culinary experience. Culinary tourism including food and drinks, cooking class, and food culture festival. So why does culinary tour so important? Because food is believed to rank alongside climate, accommodation, and scenery in importance to tourists. For most tourists, they necessarily need 3 things: safe and comfortable rest environment, convenient transportation, and finally, delicious food. Food is the closest to our lives, so it is easy for us to find the difference, which is also the most able to reflect the authenticity and the difference of culture. Culinary or food tourism is the pursuit of unique and memorable eating and drinking experience, both near and far. Culinary tourism is considered a subset of cultural tourism. Culinary tourism, including the active pursuit of unique and memorable eating and drinking experience, as well as agritourism, experience that cannot what is being grown and produced in an area to what is being prepared and enjoyed by local. And the most important thing is to remember, food and drink can enrich all tourism experience. You need to eat and drink every day. Culinary tourism is central to modern tourism and directly contributes to a country's hospitality industry and economy. It is important from the country and the culture's perspective to develop their food culture in order to support the growing trend of culinary tourism. As food is a reflection of our culture's eating habits and in turn a destination's culture, history, and people. Countries or districts are often associated with particular food. Italy with pizza and pasta, Japan with ramen and sushi, India with curry and so on. People from different cultural backgrounds eat different food and a taste tracker embrace this fact and is eager to learn more about different culture and their cuisine. Danish scholar Annie Meda offered a model, includes color from different 4 color personality type, red, blue, yellow, or green personality type. Red type mean they prefer familiar food to feel safe and comfortable in destination. They seek fast food chains, packaged tour food, and restaurant with a predictable menu. After the trip, no change to pre-visit behavior occurs. They rely on word of mouth and other authentic source. Spending time with good friends and being somewhere that feel familiar and safe are key motivation for tourism. Yellow type people, they would rather not take the time and energy to research dining information. Rather, recommendation and top 10 lists are preferred. Green type people, they seek out local and regional cuisine and eat where local people they eat. They think hotel food is mean westernized and the farmer's market means authentic and local. Existentialists are interested in cooking class, fishing trip, vineyard tours, and food festival. Blue type people, they are trendy and embrace the latest food, flavors, and cooking techniques. They seek out restaurants with innovative menus, smart design, and chic service. They travel for personal indulgence to experience the good life with fine cuisine and being pampered. They are the tourists who seek not only vineyard but a specific grape wine. They traveled with detailed itinerary. Time management is important, and experimentalists want to maximize their time at destination. Guided tour of a museum, hop on hop of bus tour form part of their tourism experience. Research by the WFTO shows that 30% of American travelers will choose a destination based on availability of local food or drink festival or experience. They say that 51% of travelers travel to learn or enjoy unique dining experience. Of these who travel specifically for food, 81% says they enjoy learning about the culture and cuisine of the place they visit, with the same percentage starting that food and drink from their largest expenditure when traveling. And the following 2017 UNTWO report, food lovers spend about 25% more when traveling than any other travelers.
Nowadays, cooking classes and culinary tourism claim a decent chunk of the market share within the tourism industry. It means that traveling in search of learning is one of the culinary tourism trends. Cooking classes where you can learn local food while traveling abroad are gaining popularity. As overseas travel becomes more common, more and more people are not only looking for tourist attractions, but also trying to experience local food and culture. In the past, we looked through many attractions in a short time, but recently more and more tourists have stayed in one place for a long time and experienced the culture of the place. A Hana Tour official said, travel products consisting of cooking classes that can only be experienced locally are well received. Cooking classes in Southeast Asia, which offer cheap access to a variety of foods, are definitely popular. Travel agencies are showing the programs shopping at a traditional market in Hoi An near Da Nang, Vietnam, and participating in cooking classes at local restaurants. Using local ingredients, you can learn various traditional Vietnamese foods such as pan siêu, pho, spring roll, and fried rice. You can also make noodles and dumplings. In Thailand, local restaurants also operate various cooking classes. Koh Thai Cooking School in Bangkok holds 2 cooking classes every day, lunch and dinner. The menu composition varies from day to day, including shrimp fried rice, pad thai, mango rice, chopped chicken salad, and somtam, and you can learn 5 traditional Thai dishes at a time. Local cooking classes are also in the spotlight in the US and Europe. Jamie Oliver Cookery School in London and Involata Culinary School in Florence, Italy, also offer one-time special classes for tourists. The cooking class, run by Jamie Oliver, a famous chef, teaches people how to interpret new menus from Spain, France, Japanese food, and Italy, as well as British cuisine. In Volata in Florence, the home of gourmets, you can experience Italian home-style food such as pasta, steak, and gnocchi.
Hi, I'm Christy and I would like to introduce the food tours. About the difference between walking tour and food tour, a walking tour consists of a group of people following a leader, looking at specific sites, listening to the history of those sites of the city in general, and the food tour involves working around a neighborhood, going into shop and restaurant to try various kind of food, listening to the history and story about the food themselves, how they fit into the city's culture. Therefore, food tour has the elements of working tour, and that working time is useful to digest and spread out the amount of food. We can see the food tour in private or big group organized by travel agency. The participants of the private food tours almost will be less than 6 persons. Most likely this person a friend or family who knows each other, and the time will be around 3 hours to 1 day. For the one arranged by travel agency, the group size will be larger, and one will need to travel with someone whom he does not know. And most commonly, the tour will be last for 2 to 3 days. As a food tourist, of course he or she would want to taste many types of food within a very short period of time. As the food tourists now they will not only be going to the restaurant, they will also be guided to visit the historical site, although it does not have any correlation with food. To have such arrangement is because people cannot eat non-stop all day. Then I found the best food tour around the world ranking by TripAdvisor. I would like to introduce the top 2 food tour to you. First is the tour of Rome. The attraction is to feel the beautiful sunset with the traditional food and wine tour. It is a 4-hour tour costing around 135,000 won. The charges includes a bottle of water, food tasting, and dinner. And you can see this is a traditional food and wine tour, but it does not include the wine, so you need to pay it. The number of persons in the group will not be over 13. And it is not a private tour that we need to travel with someone we do not know. And also, you could see the additional information, the tour, a wheelchair and stroller accessible. I love this detail to carry the disabled person. It is not all tour accessible with it. Next is the cooking class and local market tour in Florence. It is a tour that can pick ingredients from a market and cook traditional Italian dishes. Also, after the tour, they will be provided the recipe by email. The tour lasts for 7 hours with a group size under 26 people. This tour provided the hotel pickup and drop-up service. The itinerary showed that the tourists will first go to the market and select the ingredients. Then they will get on the minibus for their journey to the venue of the cooking class. At the same time, they could have the city sightseeing on the minibus. After they attend the cooking class, they will enjoy the food that they cook, that is their lunch with the dessert. Now I want to share with you 2 food tours in Korea. The first one is from the website Veriter. When you visit the site, you can see what they emphasize. I do not take you to place that you will be able to find on Google or are commercialized. That is exactly what I mentioned at the beginning, that the food tourists who join this tour will eat what the local people eat, and they really like the authentic. And it is a tour about 5 hours, and the costs do not include dinner, only provide the alcoholic beverages. Although it does not stay on their information, but it is common practice of the tourists to invite the guide to dine with them because it is a private tour. About the itinerary, it will also go to the Insadong traditional market and gallery. Next is the tour from TripAdvisor. I think this is the most common type of food tour in Korea. It is a 1-day tour in Jeonju. The highlight is to eat the famous food bibimbap and go to the Makgeolli Street. The food tour will also visit the historical site and museum. Again, as I have mentioned it before, no one could eat non-stop all day. By visiting the site of Shrine, Museum and Church, it will provide digestion time for tourists, and at the same time, tourists could learn the history of Jeonju. The tour including lunch and dinner and the admission fee of museum. Finally, I want to share my own experience of the food tour in China. I think the food tour in China is a little bit different from the other countries. The charges will include all the meal and the hotel as well, as mostly the tour will last for 2 to 3 days. Also, the size of the group is very large. The China Zhuhai food tour, which I joined, was organized by travel agency in Hong Kong. It was a 2-day tour. The cost included 6 bills, transportation, and hotel. It was a big tour with over 50 people with 3 big tour buses. We went to eat the famous food of Zhuhai. Most restaurants provided unlimited refill. Also, when traveling from one restaurant to another, we could have city sightseeing on the bus. I also visited the traditional market, memorial park, and the Chinese pastry factory. And after the tour, I think the food tour really can help the local product market. Here is the true story that my grandmother tasted the one sauces during the lunch, and she thinks the sauce was very, very delicious, and she bought a big bottle back to Hong Kong, even that was very, very heavy. And that was very impressive for me.
In this part, I will introduce the festivals related to culinary tourism. La Tomatina is the annual tomato festival held on the last Wednesday of August in Bunol, Valencia, Spain. The Tomato Festival, Spain's representative folk festival, began in the mid-1940s and became famous around the world with intense red tomatoes and dynamic fest landscapes appearing in several films, commercials, and broadcasts. It has developed into a festival with more than 30,000 people. Throughout the Tomato Festival, music, dance performances, street marches, and fireworks are held. The tomato throwing event, in particular, lasts only 1 hour on Wednesday. The origin is not known for sure. There are many stories of origin. First, it is said that teenagers used to play pranks on fruits and vegetables and developed into a festival. Or there is a story that the tomato festival began when pedestrians threw tomatoes as a mockery to performers who played poor music. It is also said that a large truck spilled tomatoes in an accident, causing a tomato prank. One of the most widely known is the Giant and the Big Hat Folk Festival, held in Puebla Square in Bunol in 1945. The festival is to dress large-headed dolls made of paper and hold them in line with the band's performance. However, in 1945, teenagers fought by throwing vegetables from stalls and throwing tomatoes. Since then, on the last Wednesday of August, it has become popular among young people to throw tomatoes, which has evolved into today's Tomato Festival. There are the main events of the festival. Throwing tomatoes is the first event to mark the beginning of the festival. After playing for an hour while throwing tomatoes, you can no longer throw tomatoes when the cannon rings to announce the end of the throw. It should be washed clean so that roads and buildings are not damaged, and people also visit water such as the Bunol River to wash their bodies and finish the festival. Second, Valencia Food Festival is also the main event of the festival. During the week of the Tomato Festival, you can enjoy the unique food culture of Spain. Spain's signature dishes include paella and vermicelli. On Tuesday, the day before the tomato throwing event, paella parties are held throughout the village. Oktoberfest is the world's largest folk festival and beer festival held in Munich every year from late September to early October. Bavaria had a festival in the fall even before Oktoberfest. According to the Bavarian Beer Manufacturing Act of 1553, the festival was held to drink all the stored merchant beer before the beer manufacturing period began. This autumn beer festival combined with a festival centered on horse racing in October every year, creating what we know as Oktoberfest in the late 19th century. Oktoberfest means October Festival in German. On average, 6 million liters of beer are sold every year in Oktoberfest. Only the 6 largest beer companies selected by Munich City can set up large tents and sell beer at Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest in Munich spread throughout the world, creating similar folk festivals and beer festivals. The largest festival after Oktoberfest in Munich is Oktoberfest in Qingdao, China, with 3 million visitors every year. In addition, Oktoberfest Cincinnati, which has been held in Cincinnati since 1976, is the largest Oktoberfest in the United States. Oktoberfest canceled the festival this year, as did 2020. Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival is a 4-day wine and food festival held at the Central Harbour Front in Hong Kong. It is a popular festival around the world, being selected as one of the world's top 10 gastronomy festivals by Forbes of the United States. The background of the festival is that in 2008, the Hong Kong government exempted the tax on wines. Since then, efforts have been made to improve quality by introducing a rating system to wine cellars. As a result, Hong Kong was called the hub of Asian wine, and the wine industry grew rapidly. In 2009, the Hong Kong Wine and Food Festival began on a small park site west of the Kowloon Peninsula. In 2016, a total of 145,000 people visited, and more than 300 booths were installed to taste and sell wines brought from 28 countries. Lectures on wine are held during the day at this festival. Festival participants buy admission fees and tokens and convert tokens into wine. As the popularity of the festival increases every year, the size of the festival is growing, booths are increasing, and various theme zones are organized and operated. For the first time in 2020, a hybrid festival was held that merged online and offline. We hope that our presentation will help you get some information about the culinary tourism. Thank you for listening.